And there we are. Good evening. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. But most importantly, happy Wednesday. Look at that. Guys, how are you? How are my clockers? Duncan, how are you, my friend? Duncan's in a different place today.
Got the microphone off. That would sort of help.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I've been in here for a while now. I had the excursion upstairs last on Sunday, but I'm back in here. So I'm glad to be here. And only one TV, or two TVs are actually on. And I'm all grand. What about you, young Rokk?
Oh, I'm very good. I'm just readjusting my skirts as we speak. Duncan, those pesky cameras had moved around while we were out playing around with our clocks. But enough of me. Nobody cares about me. RAPH, how are you, my good friend?
Hey, I'm doing well. My daughter started school for the first time this week. So I'm getting used to the early mornings and the 45-minute journey, which should be a 20-minute journey. But no, it's been a good week. I'm excited to see what's been going on.
It's my eldest is 21 now. Gosh. Yes, I know I don't look it, Raph. I know. You no need to say. You no need to say. But I tell you, I remember those first days. I really do, as if they were yesterday. And I remember sort of waving goodbye as my wife walked them off to school and thinking, oh, it's going to go in a flash. And before you know it, it has gone in a flash. So yeah, cherish those moments. I know you do. I know you already do. But they are magical moments. So here we are. We're rocking around the clock. It's been a whole week since we met. Of course, you weren't with us last week, Raf, because you had family matters to attend to, which are very important and not to be missed. But certainly for Duncan and I, it's been a whole week. But it's been an interesting week, Duncan. There's been stuff going on, but not masses of it, has there? Look at the little grin on his face.
Yes, I'm not taking the bait. I'm refusing to take the bait. Yes, there has been
None was offered, sir.
Yeah, it won't take much to teach you to tell lies, would it? No, come on.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's been a fun week. A lot's going on, but not a lot's went on in the world of Stadia. We've got a couple of new games arrived, and a pretty quiet, more or less, from that as well. We haven't had any announcements of Stadia yesterday or today so far. But we have got a new game announcement which came today, and we also have some breaking news.
Ooh. Do you know, it's becoming a trademark for Rokk Around the Clock, isn't it? Having a little bit of broken news.
Yes, it is semi-broke, but I don't think many people picked up on it. But we can expand in more detail. I've actually tweeted it out there about an hour before we came on here, but I haven't had a chance to write it up or anything as yet.
So I don't know if you've ever seen one of my all-time favorite films. Which I've completely forgotten the name of. But anyway, what happens in that film is
Debbie Does Dallas?
No, it's not that one. Every time an angel gets its wings, there's a little sound like this. And I think we should have this when there's broken news. Ding! You guys didn't hear it, of course, but I can assure you it happened. Just trust me, it sounded like me going ding. Right, let's get on with it, guys. Let's get on with it. So over to the newsroom. There we go. Big close-up of Raf there to get you all excited. So, as you can see, although you're not seeing it on, we are, as always, using the magnificent cloudywithachanceofgames.com for all of our news references. Thank you once again to Duncan and the team for an amazing week, keeping us all informed. Baldur's Gate 3. So we're going to go all the way back to last Wednesday, the 2nd of September, where we were finally told how much it would cost us to get early access to Baldur's Gate 3, which it turns out is exactly the same price that we'll probably end up paying for the full price games, $60. And of course, Twitch. Well, you can explain what happened next, Duncan, because there was a tweet.
Oh yes, a tweet you liked as well. I remember that. Basically, what had happened is Baldur's Gate 3 is coming at $60, so that's going to be about 40-50 pound in proper money. I'm just going. I'm just fishing there to see if I will catch anybody there with that comment, and. That was a bit more than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting like 10-20 pounds. I was maybe expecting like maybe 30, 40 at a 40 maybe at a push. But this is coming in full price, and I know that has maybe put a lot of people off actually picking it up early access, because you're only getting maybe just like a third of the game. It's nowhere near complete, and there's no timescales of when it will be complete. It could take up to a year for it to maybe more to flesh out. So I'm a bit hesitant with actually picking that up, but I know a lot of people are going to pick it up despite that. But the more interesting news for me anyway is crowd play, which we thought was going to be in this game and just on YouTube, is actually going to Twitch as well, and it's coming to Twitch at launch. It has not even been confirmed that it is coming to Stadia at launch via YouTube. So that is a big talking point for me. It's very, very interesting, considering this is like a showcase game for Stadia. We're not even sure the crowd play is coming at launch.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker, that one. Were you aware of that, Raph, when it kicked off last week?
I saw Cloudy break the news, but is it crowd play or crowd choice?
Crowd choice.
Crowd choice. I think it'd be silly for them not to have it on Twitch, if I'm honest. If you're going to implement it for one thing, you might implement it for another thing. Get as many people playing it as physically possible. I think it'd be good. I think it will give people the option to play it on the two different sort of platforms, YouTube or Twitch, and it will still promote the game. You could still play it on Stadia, on Twitch or on YouTube. You might not be able to use the features on Twitch, but I don't know. It would have been nice if Stadia had that little bit of exclusivity time towards it. But
it's easy for you to say.
It's just about. But again, it's not that big of a deal. It's all right.
It's not a big deal. I think what made it more of a deal was that we, and to be fair, it was us, the community, kind of got all excited behind the ears because we thought we were going to get this, this sort of early access. They were going to have exclusive YouTube features, and it became a sort of a poster boy, if you like, for Stadia. And then, of course, in one fell swoop, we discovered that actually, no, that isn't going to be the case. It's going to have similar features elsewhere. You're right, though. Of course, it's fair game. Why not? And if just because you want to use it on play the game with in Twitch, or stream it from Twitch, I should say, then why shouldn't you have those features? But I guess it was just, we like to think we're special, don't we, over here in Stadia Land? So then there wasn't a great deal. On to Thursday. On Thursday,
Rokk, I just want to answer a question in the chat. Sorry for putting my hand up like in school. I'm in school.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Roger was asking about the early access price. Is that going to be, is that all you pay? And yes, that is all you pay. See, normally what happens is if you pay that early access price, it's like a bonus. You get the full game, and it's usually cheaper. Yeah. But for Baldur's Gate, you're paying the full price, and you're still getting the full game. So don't be worrying about that. If you want to buy it on the 30th of September, that is you bought it now or in the future if you want to wait until it launches. So just to confirm, you only have to buy it once.
Yeah, which is good because if you're going to buy it anyway, you may as well buy it now, play a chunk of the game, albeit knowing that you probably want to go back and play it again when it comes out with its enhancements and so on. And hopefully you can do that. I don't know the Baldur's Gate series, Duncan. I know obviously if it was, say, Destiny, for example, you could keep a couple of your characters free and then in 6 months to a year, whenever the actual game comes out, you could start your character from scratch and go back and experience it. I'm assuming and hoping you could do that with Baldur's Gate 3.
You should be able to, because they've actually, what they've actually suggested, if you go back to the stream before, is for your early access run through the game, is to actually be as evil as you can during it. So that's what they're actually recommending. So when the full game launches, I think we'll have multiple save slots, so you can just go. So but that is what they're recommending anyway. You be evil in your first run through of it, so they're expecting multiple run throughs.
Yeah, they would. It would be a bit off of them to tell you to go and do something, only to find when you play the actual game, you can't go back and not do it again. I'd be gutted of Exminster or wherever it was that I lived. So. On Thursday, as the ticker says, we had Crew 2. We had another. The important thing wasn't that it was Crew 2. Actually, the important thing was that it was the second free weekend, and it was actually Thursday through to Monday, wasn't it? Or was it Sunday?
Thursday through to Sunday.
Yeah.
Did you have the Crew already, Raph, or was that?
I did have the Crew. When it first dropped, it was like £9, I think it was.
Was it?
So I definitely snapped that up, yeah.
I think I did as well. That must be why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't think I've played it very much. It must, you know, when it's like, oh, I'll have that for a tenner. Mm-hmm. But good for people who, obviously, I mean, the important thing is establishing the principle of having this free-to-play weekend, which, you know, if you haven't picked it up, you get a chance to play for 3-4 days, which I suppose, Duncan, do you think they're selecting the games based on the fact, knowing that you're not going to finish the whole darn thing in a weekend?
Yes, they are. Expect games, not never-ending games, but games with a long lifespan to be the ones that usually go into the free weekends. You can see that on Xbox and PlayStation as well when they have the weekends. It's games like The Division, Destiny, or not Destiny is probably the wrong example, Forza Horizon, and games like this, games which are just never-ending, constantly get updated, and you won't be able to finish in one sitting. Or even games like Civilization, which you can play once, or you don't play just the once, you play multiple times. Yeah. They're the ideal games for the free weekend. So don't be expecting the same. Just trying to think of a game here on Stadia.
A smallish game.
Small.
Avengers, probably, because although I'm 15, 16 hours in, I know there are some people that have completed the campaign a couple of times in a few days. So that's possibly a game you're not going to see at a free weekend any day soon.
Yeah, don't be expecting the Avengers, but I do think Avengers will become a free weekend game in the coming months.
Do you?
Yeah. It's because Avengers is going to be moving into that never-ending sort of game model, where it's which is known as a GAS game, GAAS. I forget what the abbreviation means.
Game
but
as a service.
Games as a service. Yep. This is why you're here, because I'm awful with all these.
I've got to fulfill some reason for being here, mate, haven't I?
Yeah. But games as a service and are the perfect type for the free weekend. So yes, I'm expecting Avengers to end up on a free weekend, but not for a number of months until there's been a couple of events and the game expands out a bit.
Brilliant. Any thoughts on that one, Raph, that you want to?
I think anyone who kind of took advantage of that, they should also take advantage of that. I think it was 70% off for the Crew 2. Am I right there, Duncan? Do you know?
It is still on offer. I will double check. It's still on offer.
Those of you who played it, even those of you who haven't played it, it's one of those games that are almost never ending. You can keep playing it. They keep updating it constantly. Like there's tons of different cars and there's loads of different ways to do things. You don't have to use the microtransactions. You can literally play to get everything. So I would say definitely go for it, other than the expansion packs with all the other cars. But I would say definitely give that a go. If you missed the weekend, pick it up, because it is definitely worth it at the price that it is right now.
And the price was, sorry?
I've paid for it, so I'm not. And
Okay. Chat will tell us. Chat will tell us. I've got a feeling it's certainly not £9 anymore, Raf. I think it's more like 15. But yeah, it's good value though. It's a great game. Huge game.
And just remember, there has been 0 games on Stadia Pro from Ubisoft. So if you are thinking about it, it could be worth picking up if you don't have your eyes on Uplay Plus, if and when that comes.
Yeah. I've said too much about Uplay Plus today. I'm not going there tonight. I'm not saying it again in public.
Do it.
I couldn't possibly. All right. Then
Well, the gold edition is only £18. So
well, there you go. So it must be a lot less than that. Well, maybe it is a similar price to what we paid
Yeah.
for, Rav.
yeah.
Ah, that's interesting. Maybe it is. Chat, let us know how much. Here you go. Gamerman's on the case. $12.99.
That's dollars, isn't
that
it?
will be dollars. You're looking at the same price we paid then, 9 to 10 GBP, $12.99 US and $22.99 US. So yeah, that's a good price, I have to say. Like Duncan said though, we may not be that far away from Uplay Plus.
I win.
You did. I know you got
You
me.
just said it again.
He pulled me in. He pulled me in. He reeled me in like a little old mackerel. Right, let's go to Friday. So Friday, MB2K21 landed. I didn't hear a lot. There wasn't a massive fanfare for this. I saw 1 or 2 people say, "Oh, it's in the store now," but there wasn't a, "Oh wow, I can't wait! This is amazing." We kind of got NBA'd out because it was only that short while ago that it was like a £2 or something in the store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Off you go, Raf.
I was going to say, my favorite part about this was that when it dropped onto Stadia, it wasn't made like a massive deal. It just became like a normal thing where a game drops and then it's on the platform. Like no announcement needed. You just scrolling through your store one day and you're like, oh, this game's on here. That's awesome. So that was my favorite part about the whole NBA 2K21. I have the 2K20, but again, I like these sort of games, but I feel like it's more of a couch co-op game, and I don't really have time for couch co-op games at the minute.
Yeah, I think I bought it for a couple of pounds and probably played it for that many minutes as well. So it's like, well, again, it's like, oh, it's £2, man. It's going to be in your library forever. There's going to come a time where I'm going to be sitting there thinking, I might give NBA a go. And still, it's going to work. Yeah. What do you think, Doug?
I think we're just slightly out from the ground here because it's not a big deal in the UK. I think in the States it's one of the, I think it's like their FIFA nearly. I think it's nearly bigger than Madden. So I think there'd be a lot. Yeah. Me and MM2K were going over the Xbox store listings on what was the most played game, and NBA is up there, and I think it's actually ahead of Madden for the Xbox. So it is massive over there. So I think that's why it maybe slipped under our sales over here, because at the same time, remember when our American friends were waking up, Avengers was beginning to drop. So that might have overshadowed it.
Yes, of course. It's a pretty unfortunate release date, really. But as you said, if you are into NBA, and it does look stunning. I mean, I'm always amazed the quality of the graphics. It's almost photorealistic, isn't it? And there's a story as well, isn't there, within the game?
I haven't a clue because I do not play it. I'm not an NBA fan like you. I just picked it up because it was £2 or £3, and it was just like, I'll just get it, give it a go, because a lot of people were talking about how great it was, and to me, it bored me to tears. So I don't think I'll be making that mistake again. But no.
Yeah.
But this is me. I'm stupid. So if I go down to £2 again, I'll go, okay, I'll give it a try again.
See, Eddie makes a good point here. Eddie says it's a very important game in the US community. Probably didn't get the attention on Stadia because of the user base. There was even a hashtag 2K day. So it just goes to show that passed us by. But obviously, if it's aimed at you, or if it's a game that's big in a certain territory, it's going to be massive. Not something, Raph, you're going to invest in, I'm assuming.
Do you know what? I would invest in it, but I'd wait for a sale only because of the whole £2 thing, and I already missed out on the fact of when it actually went on £2 sale, because I bought the Ultimate Edition when that was on sale, but not as good as this sale. So for me, it's
okay.
But I can understand what Eddie's saying is about. It's a very important game in the US community. A lot of the sketches that I kind of watch always all talking about how they'll beat each other in 2K or come, let's play 2K. In the same sort of sense, most English people who like FIFA will be like, come on, let's have a round of FIFA. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, Rokk, I've just looked this up, and yeah, NBA is number 3 play game in the Xbox store in the US, and the two games ahead of it are. I don't think you would need to. I think you could work out what the 2 games ahead of it would be.
Madden?
Nope.
Oh,
GTA 5?
Nope.
Fortnite?
Yes.
1. Of course.
Number 2. So is Fortnite the second or the first?
Number 1.
So then Minecraft?
Nope.
Wow.
Ooh. So we've had
it's another
sports game?
Yeah, it is another free-to-play game.
Free to play.
Is it that arena game?
What,
Nope.
Hyperscape? It's not Rogue. Fall Guys.
Nope. And this is okay. It is what was getting announced tonight? Today, the multiplayer.
I don't know.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Warzone.
Oh, I know. Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Isn't
Call
it?
of Duty Warzone. It's number 1 and number 2. So 2 free-to-play games are above NBA,
Lovely.
and in the UK is nuts, as we know. It's Fortnite, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Roblox, and then FIFA. So it's actually
Wow. Do you know the stats for Europe or the UK?
that was Europe.
It was?
That was UK. It's Fortnite, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Roblox, and then FIFA. And the top 5 in the US are Fortnite, Call of Duty, NBA, Grand Theft Auto, and Rainbow Six Siege. And here's something interesting for you as well. In the top 10, NBA 2K is featured twice. It's NBA number 3 and number 8.
Because what, 20 and 21?
Yeah.
Crikey.
So it just shows you.
It does. It showed me, that's for sure. Right, now then, Everspace Stellar Edition for Stadia, which I am going to lie and tell you that it was on your website on Saturday, but it's actually Friday. But that don't matter none.
Nope, it doesn't.
It don't matter none. Rockfish. I don't know anything about this game. Duncan, I know obviously it's great to see it coming, as it is any game, but what is it?
It is a space game. It's a roguelike. My feeling is just again, this may have passed people get by because Friday was sort of a big day. This was listed. I think this was on ESRB or it was on PEGI. It's one of the ratings agencies.
PEGI 18.
PEGI 18. This does not mean that it is coming. It's just an indication of it might come.
Yes.
But it's a very good indication that it might come.
Have you seen anything at all about this one, Raph?
I've only seen what Cloudy posts. Always ahead of the game.
Yes.
I don't know. It looks a bit like Lego Star Wars. You know, when you're in the little spaceships on the outside.
And what's the other one that's coming? Is it? It's not Kronos.
Squadron, Star Wars Squadrons.
No, the other one. No, that looks stunning. There's another one that looks a bit like this. Is it Kronos? Where you fly?
Is that the one I put up the trailer for today?
It might have been. Yes, we'll have a look in a second. But there's one that it's got amazing cutscenes and stuff.
Chorus.
Thank you, my friend. But it's essentially a game like this where you are a ship flying around and shooting stuff, which, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fun. Thanks, Roger. It's fun, but it's not a whole game for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's
I understand, yeah.
Part of what you do, then that's brilliant. But what do you think, Raph?
I think I'm on the same sort of boat as you.
Yeah.
It's not my sort of game. I didn't mind those games when they were 2D, but I'm not sure how I feel about a 3D one.
Yeah, no. I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. And as I said, it's great to see any games coming to Stadia. So we celebrate the fact. But anything more than it's been cleared? We don't have dates on it or anything, do we?
No, we don't. What I'm going to add into this is I think there may be a reason why we might be getting this, because Everspace 2 is coming out, so they might be giving us this as
Pro
a
game.
pro game to get us hooked into.
Hang on. Angel's Wings.
Yeah.
Ding. There you go.
Pro game to get us hooked into this. And then see that the new one's going to be coming. Again, the new one has not been listed for Stadia. This is just purely speculation, but I think I'm making the sums here, so I'm hoping, and my 2 + 2 isn't making 5 here. I'm hoping it's making 4, but that is maybe a reason why we may get this.
Well, Gamerman's looking forward to it. He says it's a day one buy for him. That's cool. Roger said, of course, Wing Commander. That was the other classic flying game that I'd forgotten all about. Very similar looking game. Happy says it's an okay game. Sometimes Everspace is an okay game. Sometimes I did like it before. Do we know its history? Is it quite an old game, or is it?
It's a 30-year-old game.
30. It's a 30-year-old game.
I said 30. 30. Open your ears.
Oh, fair.
Come on.
Well, it says it was released on the 1st of the 12th, 2018 on Switch.
Yeah.
Does it say that? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
A 30-year-old game. I was thinking, blimey.
And I think it was
Invaders.
And it was out a year or so before that on other platforms as well. So it's not a recent game. So again, this is why I'm thinking it looks a pro game to say that Everspace 2 is coming and just get the claws into people.
I'm sorry, Duncan. You know I love your accent. Right, and see, Krampus thought you said. You said that.
But he doesn't count. He's Team Kelly, so no.
You did. That's so funny. I beg your pudding. Right, we then skip right the way forward, believe it or not, to Tuesday. I did question Duncan about this earlier. I sent a message saying, "You sure nothing happened between Saturday and Tuesday?" He said, "No, it was a fairly quiet week." Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that. So on Tuesday, where was it? There it is. Hitman 3 became a pre-order. This is the 3rd pre-order that we've seen on Stadia. Only the 2nd, with Destiny being the 1st.
Yeah, and again, I'm a bit. I think this is more semi-official pre-order rather than the Destiny one, because you could do the Destiny one in game, and it was more felt like an expansion. Yeah. But I think this is our first, what I would count our first real pre-order, because we're actually buying a full game rather than just an expansion to a game of God. So this is good news that this is coming, and we know it's coming day and date. So happy days. Hitman 3 is coming. You can pre-order it. Again, the pre-orders for me, it's not more about being able to pre-order. It's just getting the schedule out there so we know that the games are coming.
Yeah.
And people can start budgeting their money to say, yeah, Hitman is coming. And I don't like the price, by the way. If I remember right, it's actually quite expensive.
Is it?
It's it's like nearly, if I remember right here, it was like 55 quid.
Yeah. And 75 for the yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, £55 for that. So that I don't like the pricing on this. So the pricing is edging up. But the good news is we can pre-order it, and people can go, yeah, I have to save 55 quid from now until the end of January, and people can just start planning like their game purchases for Stadia going forward.
But that's, I mean, it is a AAA game though, isn't it? And we are now. I mean, Avengers was how much? 59.
Was that 55 or 6?
I paid 59 on Stadia. Unless I got done.
Yeah,
was that for Hitman?
Avengers.
Yeah,
Yes, you are right. I remember that now because there was a kickoff about that because it was going straight across. It was £60 and $60.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people weren't happy about that, justifiably. I am not liking the jump up here. Over here in the UK, there seems to be such a big difference in prices. We're getting some games coming out at £40 AAA games, and now we've got up to 60. That is a big window of the different prices. It's just something just to keep an eye on, and it's not just Stadia; it's all the platforms as well. It's Xbox and it's PlayStation are just as bad as well.
Raph, you've been playing Hitman 1 this week?
I have not played any of the pro games. I haven't played any of the pro games for last month. I haven't played any of the pro games from the month before.
Yes, I've loved it, Rokk. It's been so much fun.
Listen, nothing to do with the quality of the games. Those games, like actually top quality games. I don't have the time to play them, and I have to pick the ones that I do want to play when I have the time to. So like, I've made time for Marvel Avengers, but again, that's something I had to play in intervals.
Yeah.
So like tomorrow's like my first day off, so
wow.
I'm gonna actually play some games.
He's a very arresting looking fellow, isn't he? Number 47. What are your thoughts on Avengers then, Raph?
Oh, do you know what? I'm actually really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I haven't even got everybody yet, but it's one of those games where you like, as you said, it's a gas game, Duncan, and those are like my type of games in the sense of. Those are games that they will keep updating. You'll always have things to do. Those weekly and daily quests, so easy to do, just to kind of motivate you to go on daily to just try and get those out of the way. Those are my sort of games at the moment. Those Destiny sort of games, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm exactly the same. So what character have you got to then? What have you unlocked?
So far, I've only got the Hulk unlocked at the minute, but I'm about to find somebody else. I'm about to try this training room out. That's how far
harm.
Yes, harm.
No harm will come to you. It's 0.001% risk of damage, according to Jarvis. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, I have to say. I didn't know I would initially, but the further you get in, and I won't give any spoilers away, not least for yourself, but the further you get in, the more it expands and you get absorbed into it. Is right, isn't it, Duncan?
Yeah, exactly. Off you go.
I was going to say, I like the way how they haven't... At first, I was annoyed that I couldn't just go in and be Black Panther or be any of these characters straight away, but I understand why they're doing it now.
Yeah.
They're like properly pacing it because each character has 50 levels to upgrade to their fullest potential.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. It's like, wow, you're really trying to keep me playing this game to max out all my characters to... Like, if I had this all at the same time, I'd probably be overwhelmed with all the choice there and not be able to actually fulfill it.
And I know we're going slightly off topic, but I think it's quite relevant because I wrote an article on Cloudy about how you can literally just be frozen with so many games. And I think, like in many things in your life, Raph, which is one of the things I like about you, is you're totally focused on getting your priorities right. So rather than taking 5 minutes of every game that you've got access to, you're focusing on giving one game proper attention and enjoying it, which I think is the right approach. I absolutely agree with that. I think you bang on with that one.
Thank you.
No worries, bud. So that was him. That was number 47. I have played a little bit of Hitman 1. I played it before, on different platforms anyway. And it's a great game, and I know, again, it's another one. You've got to give it due attention. You can't just go in 5 minutes. You've really got to, because you're building your skills as you go, and you've got to be very stealthy. And if you get your steps wrong, you've got to wind your camera back and go back to where you made a mistake. It's very clever on that basis, but you've got to have a lot of patience. You've been playing a bit of Hitman, Duncan?
I have not been playing any Hitman. I've dipped into it but I haven't actually had a proper play of it because there's only one Mr. 47, and that is Mr. Adam Keefe. Isn't that right, Kelly? Who's watching? That is who played or used to play for the Belfast Giants. He's the only number, Mr. 47. Avengers, We're Cloudy are actually doing a talk about that on Sunday. We're going to be going through the campaign and we're just going to have a big discussion on that. So there's my wee plug in there. You have to get that in.
Excellent. Good. Well, we look forward to that. And let's toddle along. We're almost up to date now, guys. So the next one is that you sadly will be a small delay as I catch up with myself. But Valhalla from aforementioned Ubisoft has been put back to November the 10th. When was it due to launch?
It was due to launch the week after, the 17th.
Oh, so they brought it forward.
They brought it forward a
It's
week.
a positive thing.
Yeah,
It's been pulled, not pushed. Oh, okay. What are you trying to attract your pigeons down or what?
yeah.
What do you mean? It's a what is that? Who's getting paid? Xbox.
Oh yeah, Xbox.
Okay.
What day has it been brought forward to?
The day after the Xbox launches. The day
Same
the
day.
Xbox launches.
Same day.
Along with Destiny, Destiny 2's new expansion is launching.
Wow.
Same day as Xbox. So yeah, it has a lot of money has changed hands there. So that is what Xbox seems to be their strategy for their launch. Or no, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, that is why the release has been brought forward. Is because Microsoft have been paying them, and it has been confirmed that. Valhalla is going to be running 4K 60 FPS on the new Xbox X.
It's worth going down a little bit down that rabbit hole because, of course, rising tides and all that. The theory is, therefore, that we will also get it. It says on that little banner there. So it'll be released on Stadia the same day that it's released on Xbox. So that's good news. If one, you're buying it on Stadia, or two, you have Uplay Plus on Stadia. Oh. Watch this space, folks. Watch this space.
Right. Did you just say? What did you say there again?
I might have said what? I might have said RAPH.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you say you play plus again.
Get the gig? No, mate. I would never say the U word more than once. Raph, you're looking forward to Valhalla, aren't you?
Do you know what I am actually?
Yes.
Yeah, I love a bit of Vikings. Pause.
Don't we all, mate?
Yeah, whoever greased whoever's palms and brought it forward, it's a plus for everyone, really, on any console.
There you go.
But I'm going to talk about PS5 here for a second. But do you think that is also going to come around the same time or later?
Yeah, I think it is going to be coming November 13th.
Okay.
Oh, hello. He's done it again, Mum.
Might drop.
The 13th. Get it in the calendar. November the 13th. So you think they're going to go on... Please tell me it's a Friday.
I do not know.
It'd be so funny if it was a Friday. So Duncan thinks Friday the 13th.
No, it's not. It's not Friday the 13th. I think that is when Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War comes out.
But
and he's got the marketing deal for that.
Oh, no way. Seriously?
Yeah.
I think it's a done deal then, isn't it? November 13th.
Yeah, that PlayStation have the marketing deal for Call of Duty, so don't be surprised if maybe that is the date, and that is in and around the date where the leak was as well for people who are actually thinking it was going to come. And it is Friday the 13th.
Yeah, there you go. I love a Friday the 13th. Unlucky for some. I hope not for PlayStation, though.
But yeah, I would not be surprised at all if they drop that. Or could you imagine they dropped it on the same day? Both consoles go the 10th.
Yeah, I can't see that. Can you? I mean, they could, but I can't. So what do you think, Raph? That's asking for trouble, isn't it?
Nah, I think it'll be great.
It'd be like a bundle at school, wouldn't it? Go on, fight, fight,
Yeah.
fight.
The controversy will just like heighten it even more, I would say.
Yeah.
Gosh.
What you're a? I know, Duncan. You're kind of. You don't mind. You swing both ways, as they say. You can go Xbox or PlayStation.
What the? If we're going down that way,
I knew he was going to say that.
and Switch as well. So I swing both ways and I'm a Switch. What are you doing to me here?
Raph, you're a PlayStation man, aren't you?
I actually have all the consoles as well. Yeah.
You look at you two little tinkers. Oh dear. Oh well, I'm going to be buying the PS5. Do you know what? I've gone one step ahead, guys. You know, I always say I'd never pre-order anything. I've been so desperate to pre-order my PS5 that I've loaded my Amazon account with the dosh, ready to go. I'm just going to hit that button. Oh dear. Right, yeah. Kelly says you just make random dates up, Duncan.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds
me.
pretty fair to me. Brilliant stuff. Right, the final thing, which is literally, as you rightly said, we got a bit of breaking news to come, so just hold your horses, folks. Don't go anywhere. Kronos, Before the Ashes, December the 1st. Not, as I earlier said, Chorus. What is Kronos?
That's a very good question. Can you tell me?
Raph, what is Kronos?
I mean, if you scroll down in the article, there's a lovely description in there.
Yes.
Well, Kronos is obviously time. I mean, it's Latin. It comes from the Latin derivative for time. So I'm assuming it's something to do with time.
And you've got the egg timer there as well.
Yeah, that kind of big clue, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you scroll down there is actually.
I'm watching a video though. It might get good.
Sorry, I was going to say, if I'm being sensible here and I'm actually just taking a wild guess, it sounds like it's a prequel of Remnant from the Ashes. Is that right? Remnant from the Ashes. And I actually really wanted Remnant from the Ashes to come onto Stadia because it's actually a really brilliant game.
So it says here,
sort of a Dark Souls sort of
reminiscent game. Action role-playing game, which sounds kind of what you're saying anyway, in which players assume the role of a fighter trying to save a land from a great evil. From a third-person perspective, players can explore an ancient labyrinth. Wow, I like Labyrinth. He does some good stuff. While battling fantastical enemies, example, goblins, stone monsters, minotaur, in melee combat. Characters fight using swords, spears, and clubs. Combat is highlighted by impact, sounds, light effects, and cries of pain. Nice. And I'm not going to read the final sentence. It's rude. So Remnant Beyond the Ashes was you think it was the precursor to this one, and it's a kind of an RPG. Is it sort of like what we got on there at the moment that you would say it was like Baldur's Gate, a similar thing, or?
No.
Maybe Sekiro, but that isn't on the system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever played Dark Souls?
No. I may have done. I don't know. I might have touched it. It's quite a hard game, isn't it? Dark Souls.
It's a sort of game where you you either choose to fight or you sneak past, and then you come back to it at these different sort of enemies at a later date when you have better gear or equipment and can kind of take them on. So you die, you kind of get taken back almost to. Do you know what? Have you played Windbound?
Yeah, so it's a rogue-like.
Yeah, it's got the same sort of element of if you're playing survivalist, if you die, you go back to the beginning. Sort of.
Let's do this properly. So Remnant from the Ashes. Right, okay, here we go. Oh yes. I've been playing this on Xbox Game Pass, but don't tell anybody. Or it may have been on the Epic Store.
It would be on the Epic Store.
It was the Epic Store via Steam, GeForce.
And you can play it on GeForce now. Yep.
That's where I've been playing it. Actually, it is very good. Very good. I've been quite enjoying it. So Kronos is the next in the series for this. Very good. Well, anyway, what do we know about it? December the 1st.
Yep.
We've got a few games coming in December, Duncan, haven't we?
As I can't think at the top of my head here. You put me on the spot here.
No. There was one that you announced the other day that we've only just found out about, and that's coming December the 3rd, which I can't remember.
I can't remember.
No, I'm just concerned because quite clearly I've been watching a hell of a lot of Joe Rogan because I've got a lot of it showing up in my after YouTube video slots, which is a bit scary, but there you go. Anyway, that was the week that was, as they used to say. Now, what we do at this point is we have a little talking point, don't we?
We do indeed.
Now, I'm going to have to say, folks, that Duncan was quite keen that our talking point was based around a very controversial tweet.
No, I did not. I said we're definitely not going to be talking about that because I wouldn't want to bring the game figures down.
Duncan dropped a very controversial tweet today, which even got him into 9 to 5 Google, was it? 9 to 5?
9 to 5 Google, editor 9 to 5 Google wasn't too happy with my tweet.
No. So we've got a choice. We can have a quick talking point because we've only got 5 minutes. Quick talking point on on Duncan's very controversial tweet, or we can talk about the alternative, which is Google Stadia already capable of running games at 120 frames per second? Chat, which would you like? Controversy or not controversy? While you're deciding, I'm going to line up 120 frames per second because it just happens to be here. Right, good. Everybody said 120 frames per second, Duncan. That was good, mate. We managed to avoid the controversy.
I was going to say, the 120 frames per second thing, when you ask that, do you mean on our side or on their side? Because I thought they were already running at 120 frames per second and we were just getting it in 60 frames per second.
Raph, you make a very good point, and I think it's partly the issue here. Duncan, do you want to line this up and explain where this all comes from? We might come back to your tweet if you're a good boy.
I don't want to come back to my tweet. I'm already in the naughty step, but I don't want to get you onto the naughty step either by association. And especially Raph. That's the good boy in the community. I'm the
Everybody go and check out One to Escape's Twitter account now, and you will see the controversy.
Basically, what has happened here, the Monster Boy developer, or not, I will review the person who brought Monster Boy to Stadia has said that at this moment in time, Monster Boy is running at 120 frames per second on Stadia, but it doesn't actually support it as yet. Mm-hmm. So it looks like Stadia is ready to go if and when they fix the switch to allow it. Only a certain amount of things would actually be able to support the 120 FPS. It'd be basically just a PC because the Chromecast Ultra, as far as I know, only supports 60 FPS. That may change with Sabrina coming whenever that decides to turn up. Yeah. So a lot of people have jumped onto this. Yeah, this is again. You're going to get me in trouble again for being controversial. You just like getting me in trouble.
You're too cuddly, mate. Everybody just wants to give you a big hug. You'll be fine.
This is not Generation 2. This is just they've done a really good port, and it's actually able to run at this higher frame rate. I think it's just a case of 128 FPS is capable in Stadia. That the power's there for it. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, Stadia also tweeted out that their 8K 120 frames per second is coming still. So this is just reaffirming that Stadia can do 120 FPS.
Does that help, Raph, at all?
Was that okay for you?
I understand.
Not hear anything.
Can you hear me? You can hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, he just insists on talking over people, mate.
That's
I would never do that to you like he would.
I understand what the tweet says, but unless I'm reading it completely wrong, it's saying, I think Duncan said this, but they're just waiting for the switch to be flipped on, sort of thing, so that it actually does become 120 frames per second. But from my understanding, it's not at 120 frames per second yet because Stadia doesn't have the video output for it. So I'm kind of going in circles here. So yes and no. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what you're saying is, if I may, is that yes, it's ready, but they're not ready for it yet. So we
Yeah.
can look forward to it, and that's
Mhm.
and that's the key thing, isn't it? Here that we're saying, yeah. Happy Cloud Gamer, who's in obviously in our chat and is also a contributor to Cloudy. He came up with a phrase last night which I haven't seen before, and I thought it was brilliant. So I'm going to say it again. I actually told him that I thought it was brilliant, and that was that Stadia's a forever gen. It's not next gen. It's not the gen after that. It's forever gen. Because ultimately it's about switching in the hardware and boom, you're there. Oh, Duncan's headphones. God. You see what happens when you get so controversial, Raph, that even Virgin come around and switch off your broadband. So yeah, it's a case. Of course, it's a case that we'll ultimately have all of the features, ray tracing and 120 frames per second, and a consistent 4K and so on. But not necessarily at this precise moment in time. But what is good is that the developers are developing it with Stadia in mind, with that capability. If not for now, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Like, yeah. Like it's not something that's going to be like announced, like not necessarily announced. Like here's Gen 2, here's Gen 3, here's Gen 4. It's to be an upgrade and saying, look, here we just upgraded Stadia. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
I'm laughing at Duncan. Sorry, he's such a character. Are you back, Duncan? Can we hear you? Yes, if we want to.
The bad news is I can hear you again. That's what happened. Did you hear my big rant? Was that okay? Did my big rant go away?
I don't think anybody heard your rant, mate. And I wasn't muted. I didn't mute you. You literally were as quiet as a church mouse. And we could just see you ranting away in the background.
Oh, brilliant! No, I think I kicked out something. Yes, and Kelly's right. I was actually sorting out the wires. So there we go.
Jem asks, what happened with Duncan and 9 to 5 Google? Do you want to explain?
No.
You'd have to go and read his tweets, mate. It's very offensive. I mean, you do you want to be taking some, you might want to have a stiff whiskey before you do.
Yeah. Yeah, basically what happened was me being my nice controversial self as per usual. Here we go. I didn't want to do this, but here we go.
Anyway, folks, that's all we've got time for this time.
Yep, there we go. You actually do want me to say? Okay, here we go.
Well, it's entirely up to you. I'm fine with it, mate. I'm absolutely fine with it. I don't necessarily agree with you, but I'm fine.
I know you don't agree with me. Basically, I was just talking about the moves Xbox has made today, and I think in my opinion, the value argument for Stadia has now been lost because of the very, very aggressive pricing structure for Xbox, especially the Xbox Series S. I'm just going to say, what is Stadia's next move going to be? And it's just going to be interesting times ahead. That got me a lot of reaction.
What did the 9 to 5 editor say then?
They thought I was saying that people are going to not play on Stadia anymore. They've just took the tweet slightly out from context. It's not me saying Stadia is dead in the water or anything like that, or it's toast or things like that. It was more that the value option is just no longer there for Stadia, and there's no real compelling element for Stadia bar the hard drive space. It's just Stadia, in my opinion, needs to make a move now because the £9 a month we're paying on for Stadia is starting to look. I don't think it's looking value for money anymore when you factor in all the things you need to get for Stadia, because to play it on the big screen TV, you have to fork down your 90 quid and then you have to do your £9 a month. And with Xbox coming in at £21 a month, if you go for the credit option, plus you get Game Pass Ultimate, and now with EA Access being added to that as well, or I'm calling it EA Access, it's now EA Play. The value, the Xbox is looking extremely much better value, in my opinion. Everybody's opinion will be different, but in my opinion, and I think a lot of other people's, the Xbox is looking extremely good value for money. So that was basically
it. That was it, folks. Raph, did you want to add anything to Duncan's
I can
rant?
I can do or I can't do. Right. So the way I see it is all of this stuff is pretty much available now, right? Xbox, xCloud, Ultimate Pass, and whenever the EA thing comes to light, whenever that's available, in my opinion, if all that stuff's available right now and people aren't eating it up, they're not necessarily going to eat it up because the next gen console has come out. In my opinion, so like right now, none of that appeals to me. Like I don't have EA. Don't even know if it's available here. But I don't have EA Access. I don't have Xbox Ultimate Pass. I don't have the Game Pass and all that stuff because it doesn't appeal to me. So if it doesn't appeal to me now, it's not going to appeal to me just because it's on a next gen console. Like I can go there if I want to go there. I'm physically choosing not to go there because I don't see the point of it. I don't like the idea of having my games on a rotation. So the way Stadia does their Pro is perfect for me because I'm not going to have all that time to get to all those games right now, but I'll have access to them as long as I'm a member and I can come back and play them. So in my head, I still think it's like comparing apples and pears. It's completely different things. These things are available to you now, and if you're not eating that up now, why are you going to eat it up just because the next gen console comes out? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, very good point.
In my head, it's just like, okay, cool. I can do all that stuff myself if I wanted to do.
Yes.
If I wanted to, I'm not just going to do it because it's all in one place now.
Yeah, and I'm just going to leave you with this. I think we're all looking at this from different perspectives. Jimmy wants a new console for Christmas to play games, and his mother is already paying a monthly subscription for PlayStation Plus, or mother or father, PlayStation Plus or Game Pass Ultimate. They go down to Game or GameStop in the US, and they see Stadia there, £90, $90, whatever. That gets you access, and then it's £9 a month. And to see the Xbox, which is $25, £21 a month, or $250 down, or $300. This is where Stadia is actually losing out because they don't have the pulling power. Because the mother's going up, this looks really good value here, and it's playing games really, really well, and they're not appealing to the families because they're going to go up to him. Do you have FIFA? Do you have Madden? Do you have Fortnite? Do you have this, that, and the other? And Stadia does not have them. And they're missing out on the family markets. I know this is going slightly off topic, but Stadia is appealing to the demographic, which is people like us, people who are time poor. They're not appealing to the new generation, and the new generation are going to be hooked into the PlayStations and hooked into the Xboxes because the value and stuff is there. Again, that is something. It's sort of adding into why I think the value proposition for the Xbox now is just it's blowing Stadia away. Again,
sorry. Go on.
What was that?
I was just going to say that whole family thing, though, I can come at that from a different angle as well, in the sense of growing up, I didn't get like one game a month, if that makes sense. So like if you're paying, I think it's $35, was it? For all that stuff, I would have never, my mom or my dad would have never spent £40 a month or even £30 a month buying me a game. I would have got maybe 2 or 3 games out of the whole year. So I couldn't see my parents growing up, as I was growing up, subscribing to something where I wish they were paying £35 or £30 a month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the way I would look at it, Christmas is coming up. So you would not, if you're going into the Christmas period and you're going out to buy a console and it's £20 a month, £21 a month, you do not have to put any money down. Plus, that gets you all the Game Pass games and all the EA Access games. So wee Jimmy is going to have access to Fortnite. He's going to have access to FIFA. He's going to have access to Battlefield. He's going to have access to Minecraft. He is going to have access to Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsports, and all the games coming to Game Pass day one. That is why the value is there. If they're hooked up to Stadia, it is £90 down minimum to get it onto your screen, unless you're doing the yes, I know you can hook your PC up to it, you can hook your phone up to it, but we're just talking ease of use. You still need the controller, you still need really the Chromecast Ultra or Sabrina to hook up, and that's going to be money down, and then you have your subscription on top of that, and you still don't have access to the games. So that is why I'm saying the value is absolutely there for families now, especially if the Xbox Series S for the price of one Xbox Series X, you can get two of them for your two kids. It's just mad what this is going on now, and this is where I think the value proposition of Stadia is starting to get worn away, and especially for the younger generation, who they should be actually hooking in to Stadia now, and not us old fogies, especially me and Rokk.
Don't bring me into your argument, mate. I'm an innocent bystander. Nakinu says, Duncan, what version of A Christmas Carol did you escape from? If they're old enough, the kid will tell their parents Xbox or PS5, Stadia, etc. If they're too young, they'll probably get a Nintendo. I mean,
just to answer that point, the next gen consoles would be off the menu for most people, for most kids, at £500 a pop. Sorry, it's £450, $500. The PlayStation is going to be in and around that as well. With this £250 mark, that has made the Xbox Series S that is on people's Christmas lists now, because the price is so low, and it's actually came out they're making an absolute massive loss in that there tonight.
Yeah, it's an amazing value. Zero Games for me makes an interesting point, Duncan. He says Stadia will have to make 4K free. What do you think to that concept?
Oh, it all depends. I understand what they're doing with the Stadia Pro, and they're trying to make that the value to actually get it into the 4K scenario. Yeah, it all depends what xCloud does. I think they're going to have to react to that. For people who don't know, xCloud, and this is another thing which I'm saying, the Xbox Series S is the Trojan horse for xCloud in the future. xCloud next year is moving to Xbox Series X hardware, so we're going to see a step up. I know it's only 720p at the moment, but we're probably going to see it going onto the desktop in the next month or two, and it's definitely going to be at least 1080p, if not 4K next year. So all these arguments, Stadia is the best place to play. Absolutely it is, but Xbox aren't slouching about there. It's going to take off next year when it moves on to the new hardware.
Raph, I'll give you the last word on this one before we wrap up.
I was just going to say, just going back onto the family thing. I really think it depends on the sort of family. Not all families can afford a subscription a month, and I think most families would not be able to pay that. From sort of area where I grew up, most families would not be able to afford that. They'd buy the console, and they'd buy you maybe one game, and that would have to suffice until either the child did a paper round or they were able to afford it. So I think, and this isn't me saying Stadia is better for this or for that. This is me saying Stadia, Xbox, the new ones, the PS5 series. I don't see a lot of people subscribing to these things, just because maybe those two are a bit better off. But from where I grew up, not a lot of people could afford these sort of subscriptions a month. So I think it plays to some aspect where the cheap Xbox is brilliant. That cheap price is fantastic. But I don't know about these subscriptions, because I know a lot of them will not be able to afford it. And a lot of the families from when I used to work in schools, they would not be able to afford this. They'd be able to get the console and then maybe one game, and then that would have to be it for a while until they could afford something else. So yes, I can see the people that can afford it, that family side, But I can also see the other side of it where,
yeah. The thing I'm going to add into this is, if you're a Stadia subscriber, you are 9 times out of 10, if not more, a Stadia Pro subscriber. Would you get, for an extra £2 a month, you get xCloud, you get Game Pass, and all the AI games. That is it. And just remember, xCloud is going to PC as well this year. More than likely, the app is already there. This is, I think people are forgetting about it isn't just going to be the phones and, it's not going to be just a console. It is going to be on PC. You will be able to play xCloud on your PC. This isn't me just saying this. It's actually been out there and it's been tested in the wild. People have played xCloud on the PC. So for an extra £2 a month, you can get all the Xbox games. You can play it on xCloud and EA Play. So this is another facet to why Stadia is not looking amazing value now. The value is still there. It's something I have said, and I've banged this drum a lot, and I think Rokk would actually back me up in this one, which is going to be shocking, is gaming is you're going to play where you want to play. Now you're going to see stuff in Stadia you want to play, so you bang into that. You're going to see stuff on Xbox, you're going to just jump into that, and you're not going to need the consoles or the hardware to actually do it. You're going to be going wherever the games are, and that comes back to Stadia's fundamental problem at this moment in time, which we are beginning to see it's getting solved, as the games. Stadia need the games.
Right. Well, that's it then. Jem, you asked. Very well done. Thank you, guys. I think that's it's a fascinating. What's happened over the last couple of days is the whole question has exploded around what people perceive as value, what they get out of the various platforms, whether it's all about the games, whether it's about the convenience, whether it's about the money. I think it's going to roll on for some time. But guys, thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, and your insights. Let's just go from my right down to the left there. Raph, where can people find you these days, if they so desire?
You can find me on Twitter at _RAFGaming_, or you can find me here every Wednesday, and hopefully soon I'll be live streaming on my own channel.
Yes, so we'll look forward to that. Have you got plans, or is it just time and all the rest of these things?
It all depends on my daughter and how she fits into nursery. But yeah, I'll be back on it. And I might even, definitely.
Totally look forward to that, my friend. Duncan, where can we find you? Where can 9 to 5 Google find you?
9 to 5 Google. I think they know where I am. I'm on Twitter at one2escape. And I just dropped the link into the chat there about where xCloud is running on PC, just to show that I wasn't actually making that up. And you can also check me out at Cloudy with a Chance of Games.
Thank you so much, as always. Folks, please do pop along to Cloudy with a Chance of Games. The guys, I'm privileged to be in their Slack group. I just see the notifications that are winging around all day long. They are passionate. You wouldn't believe the passion that is in that team when it comes to trying to find the news and delivering opinions and stuff. And it's great to see. So please do that. As for me, Stadia Rokks, at Stadia Rokks on Twitter, Stadia Rokks all over YouTube. Stefan, who is very kindly helping me with my Discord, has told me, under no uncertain terms, going to let you go without mentioning that I have one. So I do have a Discord, and I'll put the link in the comments below, so you can, or at least in the little bit where you put your stuff in the bit, underneath. So, guys, thank you so much once again. Thank you, chat. You've been super duper on it tonight, and it's great to see so many people in the chat and so many great opinions as well. This, of course, has been Rokk Around the Clock. We will join you in a week's time when hopefully, let's see, we're going to have the Ubisoft Forward tomorrow. There could be big news there. There's we've now overcooked it in terms of info from Stadia. We were hoping to have something today. We haven't seen anything, so hopefully tomorrow there'll be some news as well. You can Watch Duncan and I and Lee and our new housemate Clive on Friday on Rockstars at Night, doing a bit of community play. And Sunday morning, as always, Duncan and I for Stadia Rokks Live, which is a show specifically for casual gamers and busy people. So please do join us for that. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Thank you for joining us. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, Duncan.
See, don't forget to also join Rox's Discord as well, which should be in link in the bio, I believe.
Thank you, Raf. I'm glad somebody reminded me. Take care, everybody. Have a cracking week. Rock out.